Now that the weather is warm, many of you have probably been spending your weekends at a pool or a beach.
And while you're having fun, you want to be sure you and your kids are safe around that water.
Now that summer has unofficially begun, many pools across the country are open. And kids are diving in. But along with all the fun comes a potential for serious danger. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, drowning remains the leading cause of unintentional death for children ages 1 to 4. Nearly 400 pool and spa drownings involving children under the age of 15 take place each year in the United States. In a recent parenting blog gone viral, a mother detailed her son's near-death experience that resulted in what she says was a diagnosis of secondary drowning, a much less common type of drowning that for some can be fatal. But not everyone gets second chances. In fact, the CDC reports that about 10 people drown every day in the United States. Kathy and Blake Collinsworth still feel the loss of their 2-year-old son, Joshua.
He was perfect in every way.
I was sitting on the pool steps with Josh, and he, exceptionally cute that day. And I said, I haven't been clicking enough pictures lately. And I said to Kathy, I'm going to go get the camera. I'll be right back.
That's when I had looked out the back door, and I saw him in the pool, and I just remember screaming out his name.
I said, he's breathing, but he's not here.
We were able to take him off all the tubes so we can hold him. And he died about 45 minutes afterwards. But he was able to give life to other kids. So we were really proud of that. Really, that through our family and our friends and our faith have been able to continue on and grow out of this and really take something that was so tragic and hopefully bring something triumphant.
And we are joined now by Blake and Kathy Collinsworth, who started the Joshua Collinsworth Memorial Foundation in honor of their son, and Dr. Julie Capiola, pediatrician at NYU Langone Medical Center. Good morning to all of you.
Morning.
Thank you so much for being here. I know it's not easy to share your story. I know that's difficult to watch as a parent. My heart goes out to you. How are you feeling 6 years on now after the death of Joshua? How are you coping?
Well, every day, this is the anniversary was yesterday.
Oh.
So he actually passed away on the 4th, but the drowning was on the 1st. So every day we miss him desperately.
Blake, what do you hope people take away from this? What good do you want to come out of the death of your young son?
Well, you've heard the statistics, and I didn't know the statistics were that drastic until after we started researching the problem, and we felt like we had to get involved and try to create more awareness, get more people involved, get children into swimming classes as early as possible, and educate kids as early as possible that water's fun. I mean, we don't have to have it to survive, to drink, to bathe, but it can also be deadly, and we want people to be very aware of that fact.
And you've done an amazing job doing that. And Dr. Capiola, part of your role is educating people as well. And there's something called secondary drowning, as Willie mentioned in his piece, that has gotten a lot of attention. You're crying. Heather's crying. It's emotional, but we want to teach people so that it doesn't happen. Secondary drowning, what is it?
So it's actually a term we're trying to get away from in the medical literature just because it's so confusing. There are so many terms that talk about drowning, near drowning, dry, wet, secondary, primary. The bottom line is there's drowning, and that's an event of breathing impairment after a submersion in water. And then there's non-fatal drowning, which is when there's been an event in water and the child's fine, at least for a time afterward. Most of the time, this is very obvious. A child is sputtering for air, coughing, gagging. They may even require some CPR, and then they're transferred immediately to the emergency room.
If a child is choking, what do you do?
So if there's difficulty breathing but the child is breathing on his or her own, you allow them to do that. You put them in a position of comfort, raise them up, and allow them to cough and clear the water. If the child's unconscious, we need to move on to CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which I'm going to go through.
Kathy, the thing that strikes me is how quickly it can happen. I mean, you are responsible parents. We all like to think we're responsible parents. You turn your back for a second, though, and tragedy really can strike.
Yeah, it is. It's really crazy that in less than a half an inch of water, and in less than 30 seconds, we can lose a child to drowning, and that's something that we need to have more education on. Is how quickly children get away from us, and if they can learn the boundaries of being safe around water, we can actually have them being beside the pool instead of being in the pool.
We spend so much time holding your hand in the parking lot, telling them to look both ways before crossing the street. Don't touch the stove; it's hot. And we need to start talking to children about water safety.
And Dr. Capiola, you're going to show us here. We have a. I'm going to step over here and show us what to do in the event a child is choking, and we need to, as you said, in those critical seconds, do something. What do we do?
So first we're going to look and see if the child's responsive. Are you okay? Are you okay? In an infant, you'd flick feet, something noxious to get them crying. If they don't, you have to get someone to call 911 right away. So designate someone in particular. This is very important to activate EMS. And then we look, listen, and feel for breathing. Less than 10 seconds, guys. And then you go straight, if there's no breathing, we go straight into chest compressions. And this is according to the American Heart Association newest guidelines, is to go straight to 30 chest compressions. And this is for infants, for for children, and that's children under 8 as well as adults. We're going to use midline between the 2 nipples, 1 heel of the hand, 2 heels in an adult. This model's a little hard to push, so I'm going to use 2. And we go to 30, fast and hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 30.
Okay.
And then we're going to do 2 rescue breaths, okay? So we're going to, in a child, tilt the head back, pinch the nose. In an infant, mouth goes over nose and mouth. And we do 2 breaths. Right back to chest compressions. 30 to 2, and that's the ratio. If you're by yourself, 5 rounds, and then contact 911.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. Critical information.
Yes, and I just want to point out, too, that the Collingsworths have written a book called The Baby Otter.
Yeah.
Josh, the Baby Otter, promoting water safety. Thank you so much for the good work you're doing from such tragedy. And again, our hearts truly go out to you.
Thank you.
Keep Blake and Kathy Collingsworth, Dr. Capiola, thank you very much. We're back right after this.
Will you help us?